Mpakani is a great example of what an action series should be. A healthy mix of personal drama and bombastic set pieces, resulting in character driven action. The story is about a special intervention team sent to protect the border to stop a known terrorist from sneaking into the country. The story is simple enough, but I love it since it is a deviation from the crime dramas or soaps that we have been accustomed to. I also love it because the writers were smart enough to use the border posting situation only like a canvas on which they painted the real story, which is the trial and tribulations that this team goes through and the sacrifice of their personal life in favor of their service to the country. The, st- the story was great since it did not just say it straight to our faces that look, this is what they go through, but instead it uses the personal lives of the soldiers to show the audience, which is a lot more engaging and convincing. This is a good example of the phrase show, don't tell. The plot starts off slowly as the show tries to establish the different members of the team and their personalities. Things begin to pick up the pace after we get to a geo border post and we start the mission. We go from action scenes where they engage with the terrorists to personal and interpersonal drama as the team each tackle their own inner demons and insecurities. I loved that the show kept on switching from bombastic action scenes to personal drama, as this gave us, as the audience, a chance to breathe and process the different aspects of the show. I would say my one criticism of the show was during the first half, the pace felt a little bit sluggish or slow. This is mainly because the main antagonist, Burhan, did not engage enough with the team to establish some sort of dynamic chess match where he makes a move and they make a move, they make a move and he makes a move. This would greatly help in moving the plot forward, but other than that, I would say the plot was pretty solid. If I had to choose one word to describe the technical aspect of the show, I would say that it's really good. When it comes to the technical parts of a movie or a show, I can look past shoddy visual and practical effects because the effects depend mostly on the budget. But things I cannot take so lightly are the camera work, sound, and lighting because these are the things you have readily available. It just depends on how you use them. The camera work from Pakani was great, as they did not just use the camera to record the movie, but they used it to immerse the audience into the action, from using POV angles to get us an up close look into the action, to using long tracking shots instead of many different cuts. This kept me aware of the surrounding and positions, to using close ups that show us when the characters are panicking, to lingering shots that kind of make us stay with the emotions of the characters a bit longer. The sound was also good, since during the shootouts you could still hear what they were saying, in that the dialogue was not drowned out by the loud bangs, and the music did not overpower the dialogue. Songs were used sparingly without overshadowing the actors' emotions. That is, except for the beginning of the seventh episode. That hangover song was doing too much. Other than that, I would say the sound was well balanced. The lighting was also great, since during the night scenes, you could actually see without having to struggle, but they were still able to make the darkness of the night feel present. What I mean is, the scenes were not too brightly lit to a point where they take away the cover of the night, and they were not too dimly lit that you could not see what was happening. The lighting was balanced. The practical effects were mostly good. I say this because their weapons looked real, and their shots looked like they had real impact. Plus, the explosions looked so convincingly good. I said that the practical effects were mostly good, because there were some small details that felt like they needed to be ironed out a bit. An example of this is in the last episode when the team goes to inspect the destroyed camp. We are told that the bodies were too badly burnt to identify, but a cotton stuffed teddy bear still looked as clean as it did before the explosion. It's small inconsistencies like this that take me out of the experience. The technical side was a mixed bag for me, but they hit the mark when it comes to what matters. So I give the technical side a 1.5 out of 2. Now, if the story caught my attention, then it is the characters that kept me tuned in for the whole show. All the main characters were fleshed out and they felt like real people with real lives. Each one of them had their own distinct personality and their own personal struggles that were unique to their own situations. It is hard for me to pick my favorite character since all of them had their own story and somehow all of them managed to be exciting or interesting. Whether it's Farah running from the ghosts of his past, or Adis facing the challenges of motherhood while being separated from her daughter, or Kibet struggling to find his path but also win his dad's approval, or Katana expecting a child while hiding his financial struggle from his wife, or Ibra fighting the prejudice and stereotype that comes with his identity. The writers did not miss a beat when it came to characterization, giving each character their own backstory, which left me feeling like I was watching uniquely different people and not just one character copied 4 times over. The actors also did not disappoint, all of them rising to the occasion and matching the exceptional writing with great acting. My favorite performance being Claude Zatara as Farah, perfectly capturing the essence of a man struggling with his past, a sort of calm and collected man who must always be in control of his emotions or risk revealing his secret. This is what makes it so powerful when he finally breaks down to Maimuna. Now, I can say a lot about the characters of this show, but in order for you to properly understand and for me not to spoil anything, you need to watch the show. But before you do that, please subscribe. The character work was superb and the acting was on point. That is why I give it a 3.5 out of 4. Mpakani is a great example of what an action series should be. It is a breath of fresh air in a world of Kenyan TV, since nowadays it seems that every show either has to be a crime drama or a soap opera about families. I'm not saying that either of the two is a bad idea, but it was refreshing to see something you don't see every day. But the show's greatness cannot be confined to this point alone, since it met the mark in every category I consider important. The story was fresh and unique, the plot was good, the technicals were creative, the characters and acting was great. That is why I give Mpakani, the story of the North, an 8 out of 10. A great show with a lot of replay value. Even after watching for the third time, I could still go for a fourth. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, I would like to thank you for your time and thank you for watching. And if you like this style of content, please consider subscribing and leave a like. I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.